Sympathy friends, this is Julissa of Paper Gems by Jules, and today I am working with the new Somewhere Over the Rainbow stamp and stencil bundle. I also have the matching dies, which again, it's always fun to collect it all. So I'm actually using Gina K Design inks. I just pulled out the rainbow set that I have. The colors have kind of faded away, so I'm not 100% sure of what the names of the colors are. But what I like about the Gina K premium dye inks is that they kind of melt into the paper. So they really end up blending really well. And you'll see this more towards the end once I'm done stenciling. But this stencil has a lot of features. So the rainbow obviously is the main highlight to this stencil. It does require some masking, so just be prepared. I have a wide collection of washi tape, and for all the years that I've hoarded it, I am officially now using it. Probably not as I intended, but hey, I mean, these are pretty golden pineapples that I'm using for masking, so it works. Anyway, I actually made a little mistake, and some ink when I was cleaning off the stencil, it got a little bit underneath. I'll show you how I fixed that at the end. But again, using Gina K dye inks, they are buttery smooth, they blend really well, and they melt right into the paper. For this particular rainbow, I don't get to end up using the purple. I was kind of hopeful, but that's all right. It actually matches perfectly with the rainbow that is in the intro. So now I'm using the stitched rectangle from the Scallop and Stitched Rectangle die set. Easy breezy. I did put it slightly to the left, and here's where I get annoyed about the little orange speck of ink. But I'm going to use some distress ink just because, again, it's a little bit lighter than the Gina K dye inks. Those dye inks are bold and they're great for stamping, but they're I just wanted a very light feel, so I'm using some distress ink in tumbled glass to use the edges of the clouds in the same stencil. I mean, again, this stencil is super versatile, and there's another video where someone used the clouds. They're taped up in here, so you probably don't see them, but there's also a couple of clouds in this stencil, and they used some light gray and then cut them out. It was just perfect. I mean, just awesome dye. And I'll also have another card using the paw print where it's just like a whole separate card for that. So cool. Anyway, super simple. Just made the background. Sorry, this is so shaky. Shakes the table where the camera is. But you can see the little bit of orange, and even the ink that I'm doing down here, it's total waste because I'm going to cover that up. Afterthought. Alright, so now I think I'm going to start freaking out about that orange. So I'm going to get my little sand eraser, and I tried my best when I was inking the clouds to leave that area white, so that way if it kind of pulls a little bit of the paper, it doesn't like mess up the look of the ink on there. Because then if you use the sandpaper, the sand eraser on paper, it basically wears down the paper, and the problem with that can be is if you add ink later, it's going to show, and it just notices. It'll pick up either more ink because the texture is different, so it rubs on it more, but you want to avoid it. So I'm pulling out a Lawn Fawn border die, cloud border die, the Stitch Cloud border die. This is old. I mean, gosh, might be 10 years old. But anyway, so I just found some scrap paper. I'm die cutting the whole thing, and then I'm going to use that same stitched rectangle that I used and die cut it there, so that way it's a perfect match. I don't have to trim it and kind of be overly particular. I get the stitch border, which is super cool. So I'm taking this off my sticky mat, putting this together, easy breezy. Okay, and let's stamp on the cloud border. So I'm going to put the sentiment on the bottom of this. I'm just taking away some of those phrases, and I'm sorry that I did not capture. I should have zoomed out, but I'm basically putting the clouds at the bottom corner, and I'm going to use that little dog with the die that's separate. Just wanted you to stare at him. So cute. And I'm going to use some VersaFine Clair to stamp the sentiment. So I'm lining it up here using the grids. I'm just going to place it here, and then I'll look at this to see where it's lined up. So don't mind me. This is my craziness. But I also have this super cool, it's kind of like a thick plastic with a grid line in it. And I use that to line things up just to make sure. I know, I don't know why I get obsessed about these things. It's really not that big of a deal. If it's slightly crooked, you're going to live. Everybody's going to be okay. It's a thought that counts. But yeah, I am a little nutty about these things. So anyway, this is my plan. I'm testing it out, lining it up over and over until I get it right. Guess I got it good here. And let's ink this up. So back to the VersaFine Clair stamp. Boom, bip, ready to go. And now for another piece of scrap for the puppy dog. I'm going to use the same VersaFine Clair for the dog. And, you know, somebody else used brown ink, which I was like, you know, that's a great idea. I got to do other things than my VersaFine black, because it's just so clear. It is so crystal clear, that ink. I love using that. Anyway, the dyes that are coming out from Unity are awesome. I love them. I'm so glad that they're adding that to their repertoire. And this one's pretty much done. So I'm going to stop jibber jabbering. I'll let you watch the rest of this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And make sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Thanks so much, and happy crafting!